when a guy approaches you in a club and you're with your friends, what is the outcome that you're looking for? I mean, is it going to be like he just chats to you for a minute and then takes your number and calls you in a week? Or will you probably spend, an hour or two with him, you're going to dance with him, sit down, have a chat, you're going to have a bunch of drinks with him?
It's hard to say. I'd like to spend at least half an hour speaking to him so I can know if I'm going to be interested later on. Mm-hmm. But yeah, definitely he must take my number. Mm-hmm. But yeah, definitely chat to him for a bit to see if you have the same interests, like maybe you go to the same places, you have the same similar type of friends, and then you should move on and then wait for his call. He should call you like the next day or in 2 days' time is appropriate, I think. Alright,
cool. So let's say you meet a guy and you think he's quite good looking. So I was actually in the club with you a week ago, and this good looking guy came and approached you.
Oh yeah.
And he took you and bought you a drink. He's probably one of the best looking guys in the club, took you, bought you a drink, blah blah blah. We were looking over and we were like,
were you watching?
A little bit. Well, we noticed what was going on.
Okay.
And we were like, oh, she's into him. That's what I said first. Oh, she's into him. And then I was like, oh, now she's not into him. And
what made you think that?
Because your body language basically all changed. And you told me later that he was too young for you or something. So you had some, little...
Yeah, like you've got to find out little information.
Put you off a little bit. So let's say you're initially into a guy, so you've decided in the first 30 seconds that he's pretty cool and whatever. What are you then looking to find out? So are you going to ask him what car he's got, how much money?
Definitely not.
Not that kind of stuff. You obviously don't care about that. But what are the things you want to find out? Or what are the qualities he needs to show you in that time?
He needs to show me that he's a gentleman.
So he's got to be kind of polite. And
yeah, definitely polite
classy.
And definitely classy. He should... It's hard to say. He should just be considerate, and he should, when I'm speaking, he should listen, and then he should respond appropriately and what's the word?
So do you want to do most of the talking?
No. When I'm talking, he should listen, and he should look at me and make sure he's interested in what I'm saying, and then respond.
When I do training, I mean, one of the things that I don't normally get to teach on a big event when there's a big group of people, but if I'm doing training just one guy and there's also a girl there, sometimes the girl will be talking and I'll know that the guy isn't listening because he looks around the room.
He looks over her shoulder.
Yeah, he's looking at other women or whatever.
He's staring at her boobs.
Yeah. And he's like,
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't care what you're saying. You could be saying anything.
Yeah.
He's like,
And then the next thing he says is complete different subject.
So it's not related.
Yeah.
So he's like, what do you do? And you're like, oh, I'm at university. And he's like, oh, yeah, cool.
So did you see that? Yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to show that, for a guy to show he's listening, he should, he's got eye contact. Maybe he pauses a bit before he says what he's got to say next. And it's got to show that he was listening.
By responding appropriately, that's what I was trying to say.
Right,
yeah,
cool.
Definitely.
So you want him to be listening to what you say. He's got to be a gentleman and classy.
Yeah.
A lot of girls say, confident and funny and all this kind of stuff, is there?
Not necessarily funny. I mean, it's always a bonus if a man's funny. Confident, yes, but not arrogant. And there's a thin line, I think, with men especially, between confidence and arrogance.
Am I arrogant?
No, you're confident, but you've got to get it just right. But you can cross over sometimes, Richard.
Can you? Yeah, I know. Can you think of some guys, like some specific... I'm not going to ask you to name names or whatever, but can you think of some specific guys that are too far, so they're arrogant?
Definitely.
So you're picturing them now.
Yeah.
What is their behaviour that makes them arrogant?
They just always have the loudest voice in the room. They want, even if they're talking to you, they want 3 other people in close proximity to be listening to your conversation as well. They just talk about themselves all the time. They don't ask much questions about yourself, and so they're not really interested in you. They just want to talk about themselves. They're loud, like obnoxious. I really don't like loud men in clubs. or bars. It's just not attractive to me.
That's the funny thing, because I mean, a lot of guys see that guy and they'd think that he was, you know, he might be a role model, but arrogance, you've actually defined it, you know, pretty well there. It was a tough question, but that to me, you know, when I'm thinking of the arrogant guys I know, that's kind of it, self-centered. And
every guy might be thinking that about that one guy in the room, but trust me, every girl in that room is thinking, what a prat.
But still, he can be a little bit attracted, you know, because
slightly.
You probably still
maybe at first, but then if you spent too much time with that person, you would just get sick of them, because they're only so deep.
So for a guy how does a guy demonstrate confidence without arrogance?
Like we said before, just be classy and gentlemanly, and speak